Okay guys, just a quick BTC update. Maybe I'll go through one or two more of the other altcoins. Right, where do we begin? So we had a move up from here that somewhat broke structure here. Right, so we had a market structure break there, a slight pullback here, and a push up here. Now I was sort of expecting it to go somewhere here before rolling over to about here, but you can see that we fell a bit short here. Now you can see my chart looks a bit busy as well. That's because I've added the VPVR here, and basically what this is telling me is this is the highest volume node here, so where price is traded the most, and this is the point of control here, right? So anything above coming to the point of control would be seen as a fair value, and should have been bought up, right? Now we have the value area high here, and then the value area low here, so they're just at the bottom ends or the extremes of this entire distribution here. You can see the price rejected off the value area high, and most likely we are going to see the bottom of the value area low being touched there. Now I did expect, because of this market structure break here, right? Let's just neaten that up. Yeah, because of this market structure break here, we have a demand zone down here, so a bearish. I'm just going to turn off the VPVR quickly. We have a bullish order block here, and this is probably on a 15-minute, or zoom down onto a 5-minute. You can see it in green here slightly. So the move here would actually be to, once we break structure here, we have liquidity that's lying here. You can see that there. So price has now taken that liquidity there, and the expectation is for a bullish move, if this was MSP here, was when price comes into this zone here, we'll look for another market structure break on a lower time frame, a pull back into any demand zone there, and then we'll try and take the move up there, and then we will target most likely around this demand zone here, right? 20.9. So that's the bullish case. But I have been watching a fractal that's been here for a while, and this is all starting to look awfully similar to previous price action that we did have, and that's around 40k, I think, before the breakdown. So the fractal that we have is this one. So you can see that. Let's just go back and look at the previous one. So it's starting to look like here, right? If we zoom in here a bit, and this is what I'm talking about, where we had this initial move down here like we did in BTC, then we had that market structure break and price move down. But you can see that when price came into this order block here, it didn't reverse. It ran through the order block, creating a lower low. So the market structure break here now means that any pullbacks into this bearish order block here would be a short, right? There you can see it tapped it there. Alternatively, you could use a fair value gap, which is just in price imbalance, and this is the top of the fair value gap here. I usually annotate them in purple, and this was the bottom of the fair value gap right here. So we had price broke structure here, but I think this was more of a liquidity grab because it came into this bearish order block here and moved down and broke structure again here, right? So I had a market structure break there, then price pulled back into the bearish order block, tapped it to the T, almost sure, and hit the fair value gap, and then we had another break in structure here, right? So we had another break in structure here. Let's just move this down. You can see that there. Price broke structure again, and then the pullback again, rinse and repeat, would be to you could go down onto a lower time frame and check this out. So let's get rid of this one, and this is another bearish order block here. There, and price came into it and moved away violently, right? So this was the fractal that I was watching, and if I took the actual fractal there and pushed it down here, it's all starting to look very similar, right? So again, we had the push up here, the broke structure, came into here, now came into a specific place, and if you aren't aware what the a breaker is, and this would be a failed order block, right? So price pull back here, because we were trending here, price pulled back and made a higher high, and the expectation is actually here that this demand zone would have held into the higher high, and then any pullback into it here would lead to another higher high. Now that didn't happen, and price actually fell straight through. So what that tells us is that this is a failed order block, and that will actually become something we call a breaker, right? Breakers I denote in blue, and what that means is that there were a lot of trap traders in this long here, and as price moved down and came back into the breaker to retest, all of the longs that were trapped here would now mitigate their losses as much as they could and would start to sell. So you could see price there violently sold off, and it coincided with I think CPI or FOMC, one of the two. Right. Now price is I'd like to say bullish here. We did break structure here and we broke structure here, right? So the expectation again would then be, if you remember the fractal, is if we have a move down here like this, when price breaks structure here, we find a demand block here, and as price comes back into the demand block, we look for a break of structure, the pullback, and then we take it higher, right? Now I'm starting to think that this isn't any sort of bullish price action here. This is more grabbing liquidity, because there was a ton of liquidity lying here, here, and here, and obviously inside here at the bearish breaker. We'll still play this as it comes, because this would then be the block inside here, lying here, or we could look at this one here, and if price starts to hold here, we could look for maybe a break of structure to take it higher. Not too sure if we get that. Coming back to the fractal, where you see that price tapped into this block here, I'm sure already. So it was here, so this block here, right? We'll just mark it there. You can see price tapped in and broke away, and on the lower time frame let's just switch to the lower time frame quickly, and on the lower time frame it moved away. Let's just get rid of that last block. Right, on the lower time frame it moved away, creating that fractal that we had previously. So now what we're watching is, I would have been more bullish if price started to break above here, purely for the fact that although this is a market structure sort of break here, we still failed here, right? We still failed there. You can see price moved away, and if we invert this, you could start to see this trending down. So for me, the ideal hold if this is going to bounce here based on this market structure break here. If this is the market structure break here, then this green zone would have to hold, and we'd have to look for some structure here that's reversal type to take us higher. I don't think that's going to happen. I think this was the move down. This was merely a pullback into the demand zone here, and price is now going to continue. And if we switch over to that fractal again, you can see that price breaks through the zone that we have here, comes back into this order block. Let's just switch it, bring it a bit there so we can see where it came from. So price comes back into there, and then we'll look for a move up here back into this bearish order block that was created here. And we could most likely attempt a short there where we place our entry at the beginning, stops above the highs, and we target the lows again on the bottom of the thing there. So you can see that in this fractal price moved away again. So we had a break of structure, a lower low, and another break of structure assuming here, and then we saw price do this again, the three-wave move up, which if we go back to the lower time frame, you can see it did the same three-wave move up here, right? Same three-wave move up here. So this three-wave move in Elliott wave, obviously it's a zigzag or a corrective phase. This is the trending phase, this is the corrective phase, and this would tend to look like a break of structure, and then price actually goes a bit lower though, right? So not holding my breath on anything super bullish here, especially with the opening of the candle this morning. So give me 1 second, let me just neaten this up. Right, so as long as this is trending here like this, we can go to an even lower time frame, and I'll show you what could have been the play here. So from the top, this little orange block that I have here, so basically this is the initial balance of the day, the first 2 30-minute candles that were produced. And if we go here, just before that, you can see that price came from here, failed to make a higher high, and then broke market structure here. So right, and then pulled back here, and then broke market structure again. So we had another lower low, and then it pulled back into here. Once it pulled back here, based on this market structure break, we had a bearish order block there. And if you look on a lower time frame, I'm sure you'd find a fair value gap there, whichever comes first. I think the fair value gap or the bearish order block. I'm just going to get rid of this one really quickly. Right, so on this particular time frame, which is the 5-minute, let's go on a 15-minute, probably see it a bit better. Not really 5-minute. Okay, we had this fair value gap here. Purple again. So remember, we had market structure break here. Price pulled back, and then we had another market structure break here, and then price pulled back into the fair value gap. And now let's look at this one, right? Price broke down through all of this, so that we can call a market structure break even here. We broke through that, and then price pulled back to fill this imbalance here. If we take another imbalance, let's get rid of this one, delete. So this was the start of that fair value gap from there to there, and the order block that we would have taken, obviously maybe on a 15-minute would have been a bit better. You can see it here, right? This was the order block. You could take it to that high as well. On a 5-minute, I don't think we really got it on a 5-minute, to be honest. It would be these candles here. Right, BTC alarms going off. Let's just take a look here. So we just sort of missed it, but it would be that whole region there, right? These candles, up candles here. So price tapped into it, pulled back, tapped again, and then we had the market structure break here, right? This was key, and this led to a bigger market structure break here. So it broke these, and then price immediately pulled back into what? It pulled back into a failed order block. Remember again, back into the initial balance and into the failed order block, which was here. Let's have a look here, right? You can see that. Just make that a breaker, right? And that was your key to go short again. If you missed that one, price pulled back here, here, and here. We had another break here, and this failed to go higher than this before it broke down here. So that became a mitigation block, which is different to an order block. A mitigation block would just means that the swing failed to go higher than the previous swing, right? So this failed to go higher than here. The breaker block is your swing goes higher than the previous swing there, right? So that's just the small difference here. We had a mitigation block here. Again, same as the same as your breaker. Longs that are trapped here in this particular case would mitigate their losses as price comes back into it. You can see it there, and price then broke away. Right, so those were all the setups that were happening. You can see the BTC tapped into the green zone here. Not such a fan of this PA here. So you can see that we are auctioning lower here each time. Here, 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 and here. So until we, to be honest, we either make some structure here and break up here. This could be a potential play to at least here. And until we break here, we are not going to think about doing anything else, right? So any pullbacks into this region here, remember this is trending now, right? So it's stepping stones. Price is coming back into these levels here, and as they come back, we are going to take them lower until there's a change of character like this, right? So unless we get back here and we start going above here and back into this, we are not going to worry about any long-term longs. So this would be a start if we get something happening here. Price pulls back in here, break structure here, or pull back here, then we'll take it up, run it back up, right? So that's the plan there. Now, if we start to break structure again, like the fractal suggests, means we are going to head lower here. And if we look at the fractal again, it means we're heading just below the green block, taking the liquidity that's lying here, and then we get a pullback up into this 20,050 level. And then we're looking for a breakdown again, because obviously we have that happening there, lower high series of lower highs, and I am not a fan of any of this, right? So we'll take it as it comes. If it holds in this green block and starts to go away, then maybe we've got a chance here. But if it breaks lower here, any pullback here obviously will be for shorting lower. This is this piece here is a liquidity engineering piece, a three-wave move if it happens. Like I said, we have a move up here that breaks structure here, so this becomes bullish on this particular time frame. You'll have an order block here, the price reverses from, takes the liquidity here, so we have accumulation, manipulation, it comes back into this bearish order block here, and then finally the distribution there. So this is what I'll be watching for BTC, and I can only assume that ETH kind of looked like shit. And you can see this was our high time frame chart for ETH. Again, ETH had a bullish high time frame breaker there, a bearish breaker. Again, so price failed. Let's just do this. So we had the trending move here that went higher here, took the liquidity there, but we broke through here, right? We didn't go here and then make another higher high, so that became a breaker block, a failed demand zone. So when we pulled it through, what actually happens, you can see here that ETH came straight into the breaker block, which means anyone that had any long positions here would now be mitigating all of their losses and selling off, or at break even or a slight loss. And this is why we're having this particular move here. Okay, let's just go down a little bit lower here. So high time frame, we are looking for another bullish breaker here, which basically means this was the broken level here. And when price, so we did this, we auctioned higher. When price comes back into this, we are going to look for a move up here, or the fair value gap. We have a daily fair value gap, and we have the bullish demand zone, the price, or the base that price moved up from. So we've got three areas that I'm watching here. If we take from the swing low to the swing high, you can see we are at the 50% now. So this would be considered a discount, especially since we've taken liquidity here and here. Now you can see this line has been taken here. So we could see some sort of bounce here. But I think this is where you should be fighting any fights for the bullish case, way down there. Right, so not very convincing from a bullish point of view. Even if you look at ETH on the lower time frame here, it's gone to 1 hour quickly. Right, we had a demand zone here, so price moved, broke structure here, moved away, pulled back into the zone, and we started to auction higher there. Right, so this would be one complete structure here from an Elliott wave point of view, probably an A, B, and a C. Still didn't go lower than that, so that propelled us higher there into a daily fair value gap, which was here, between here and here, right? That was a daily fair value gap. You can I have it marked out in purple like before. And then let's look at what happened here now. We had a break of structure on the lower time frames here. Price pulled back, broke structure, pulled back. So we had break of structure, pull back into the order block here, lower low, pull back into the order block, lower low, lower low, pull back into here, and sold off, right? Then I think on a lower time frame we had a fair value gap here, which I have marked off in purple. It could be a 4 hour fair value gap, could be a 30-minute fair value gap. Let's just check the 15. yeah, so 15-minute fair value gap here, right? So price came here and went higher. There's your 3-wave move again. Tap the fair value gap again here, and then distributed. Around this sort of PA, I actually expected it to come somewhere here, because we had liquidity here, and you remember I posted these here, so we were actually looking for that move up here and then a sell-off there, but this was a bit weaker than expected, so we just came into this order block here and sold off. There wasn't much of a entry here on a 15-minute. Maybe on a 5-minute you could have gotten something here. Wasn't much of an entry. I think on a lower time frame you would have gotten something in there. And now we are auctioning lower, heading towards the zones that I marked off earlier. So we've taken liquidity. You can see here we've taken the liquidity, trendline liquidity here. And I just want to go to a daily time frame really quickly and see where we are from a fib point of view. Right, from there to there. At the 50%, we headed for the 61.8, then we have the 70.5 and the 79, right? As we start to go lower, I'll start to doubt this even more, because it's now starting to get very impulsive, right? Just give me a second. Starting to get very impulsive in the fact that you guys know that my overall count for BTC was that we are putting in some sort of triangle here, right? So where this was an A, it's a Neowave triangle, not an Elliott wave triangle. This was a B, this was a C wave here. We've done the D, and then this was an E, but I'm not too sure this E is done yet, so it could be just doing something here, and then this was actually where the fireworks would start. From a classical point of view, the move probably ended off here as an AB with the A C there. 1 2 3 4 5, sold off there, violent move down, and we are putting in some sort of 1 2 1 2 maybe, right? The idea behind all of this would be that this was a 1 classically, 2 3 4, 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 3 4 5. Target for that for me would then be, since I've said this before, that if this was wave 1 to 2, wave 3 was 1.236, so not shorter than wave 1, then the ideal target for wave 5 would be 100% or 61.8% of wave 1 plus wave 3 projected from wave 4, which gives us between 9.2 to 8 and then 6.2k, right? If this is in fact a 1 2 3 4 and a 5, so that will give us the first leg down for BTC, and then we could expect a lot more sideways action for a long time up to here. So if we get that move down here, we can expect a lot of something like that, and then one more push down here before we can even consider any bull run opportunities, right? So let's look at, I'm not counting on that right now. I'm just going to take this as it comes, and for now not worried about the overall Elliott wave count, just about what the price action is saying. We may have to consider that this was the range here, this was the deviation. Maybe we're going to get something like this here, and this meanders a bit more, right? So back up here and then down there. So let's see what happens in the next few days. I think this week alone, in the next few days, we should see where this is headed. But overall, not too bullish on BTC or Ethereum. I just want to have a look at what these alarms were really quickly before I log off. And this all started this morning, where the initial balance was we had a hard sell here, and then if we draw in our put in our value area, let's do that here. So value area high and low. You can see we rejected off the value area high here, all of this, and price now is below this 30-minute value area low here, and we probably are going to head down here, if not lower. I don't think this green zone holds, so you know what the plan is. If the green zone doesn't hold, then we are going to look for anything that comes back into this level here, right? So consider this an apex base, right? With that being the apex there, we have a short-term high here. We'll probably have another short-term high here, and intermediate term high here, and then price goes lower there, then come back here. We'll short this one here and then head low. So that's what we're looking for, especially if the green zone doesn't hold here, which means all of this was not a bullish market structure brace to long. It means it was mere liquidity grab into the level here, and all needs to be faded. Everything needs to be faded, right? So that's where we stand on this. Just want to have a look here quickly. Was it ADA? I'm not too sure. Right, so on ADA in particular, you can see that in my Discord, we have this as some sort of contracting triangle where this was an A, B, a C, a D, and either this was the E here, or this is going to be the E here, and then we sell off. Now I'm starting to think that maybe we were done here, because if you look at ADA and the breakdown that I had here, we came into the H4 fair value gap. We created some liquidity here. There's your demand zone here. We've tapped into it now. I was actually hoping to go down straight into it on that day, but you see we went up, took liquidity above this high first, and then we went down. That's fine. Now I'm questioning myself on whether we get this move up. So that would be the bullish case in BTC and ETH, where we head up much higher, and that could possibly be that we take off the 23k and we go higher again to take that liquidity out. So it means we bounce here and we head here, take this out, and then we head lower, right? So it would give us an A, a B, and a C, and then that finishes the E wave of this, and then we head lower. So watching the green zone on BTC here, which is the demand low time frame, mid time frame. If we break the green zone, then I'll be more bearish on all of it, especially ADA. I'd consider that it was completed here, and then we are heading much lower here. Right, not to show what the other alarm was. Atom. Yeah, I'll run through all of these again tomorrow. We'll check on them. Let's see how it goes. It looks like dog shit at the moment, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's it. Just one more thing I need to check. Not too sure why it's not here anymore. CBD. We'll just add any one of these, I suppose. Is there any? Yeah, it's pretty messed up here, right? From a delta point of view, a volume point of view, you can see that there's no divergence being created at all here at the moment, so that's messed up. Even here, not much of a divergence. This headed lower here, I think, here. So maybe, just maybe, this divergence here would help, maybe. It's a big if. For now, I'm going to stick to the plan. Look for reversal structure here. So something like this, or even better, we do this. Then we break up here. I'll pull back into this to try and take it higher, hopefully. But if we break down here, then anything that comes back into here, that's going to be faded. Fade that instantly, and that would be the one to keep, even though the fractal says that we'll do something like this and then fall over. I'll probably keep this one if I get it as a swing, and then open another one here. So I'll open two here. One is a swing, one is a scalp. Close it, open it, and take it down there. Right, that's it. I'll upload this to my YouTube. We'll pass it on to the Discord group and anyone else that's interested in having a look at all of this. And we'll take it from there. Thanks, guys.